Hey, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates, and glad to jump on Facebook Live with you guys today and on podcast to talk about, guys, it is time to plug in your amp and amplify your reach for your business. I mean, we've been talking a lot over the last few weeks about growing your business and some of the tools that are available to businesses to really amplify and extend your reach beyond what you're currently, grabbing the attention of potential new business and clients and customers. And, we've been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. And, some of you are still sitting on the fence. I don't get it. I guess I do understand that, there's some fear when it comes to, you don't want to make a costly mistake, whether it's, costing you, human capital as far as, you putting in the time or work, whether it's, hiring additional staff, or whether it's, buying Facebook ads, whether it's investing in, whatever the mechanism is to amplify your reach. I get it, but at the same time, is it possible that the truth is you could be costing yourself potential lost revenue by not plugging in your amp? I mean, that's really what we're talking about here. So why would you not do it? Okay, well, here's a reason. If your product or services are below par, don't plug in. Do not plug in, because if you suck, your suck is going to get amplified. That's not good. So if you're getting poor feedback or negative reviews, now is not the time to amp up and expand your reach, because that's going to have a negative side effect. So address those issues, figure it out. Now, if on the other hand, you have great feedback, people love you, you get great testimonies, you're getting word of mouth referrals, and, business is really, really booming, then yeah, absolutely. Plug in the amp and crank it up, because now is definitely the time to do it. We are in the greatest opportunity for marketing that we've seen in decades, because of the width and depth of the internet and social that lays on top of that. So if you're doing great business, you want to amplify that. I mean, you want to absolutely let the speakers rip. So here are 3 tips to prepare for growth. Number 1, document your growth process. I mean, you really need to map out how it is that you got from where you were to where you are now, and what that growth process looked like. Was it, enhancing your services? Was it enhancing a product that you already have? Or, was it putting the right people in the right place? You've got to really document what that process was, because if you don't look back and really evaluate how you got to where you are, it's really hard for you to be able to share that or go into step 2, which is to train others. And that's another mistake that I think a lot of us make is, we get to a certain growth point and, we're afraid to let go of the controls. But I get that. I get that there's the fear in not being in control. But if you document and if you really record and you lay out this, map of what the process was, or, how you did this and when you did that and how you reacted, and what that process is, you can share that. You can duplicate that with new team members or with existing team members, and empower them with those steps that you have identified and documented as how you got to the growth stage that you're at. So again, document the process, step 1. Step 2, train others, be meticulous in your training, very detailed, whether, it's a script that you need to, provide them when it comes to answering the phone, or whether it's, having your core messaging or your key facts really solidified so that when they start to represent your brand, that they represent it exactly the same as employee number 2 and employee number 3 and employee number 4, and so on down the line. So if you can instill that brand message and that company value structure that got you where you are, when you plug in the digital amplification, it's going to be a great amplification. The sound's going to be fantastic, and people are going to continue to love it, and they're going to share it, they're going to tell others, and that viral thing happens, and that's great. So step number 3 is, once you've documented it and you've trained others, step number 3, it's time to boost your visibility. I mean, that's really what we're talking about here. And so if you're on Facebook and you're doing that well, then take the next step. Go to Instagram and look at Instagram and look at the hashtags that people are using that are related to your services or businesses. Look at the people who are influencers. And what I mean by that is, who are the people that are seeing the most favorites and the most likes and those kinds of behaviors, and look at what they're doing and encourage them to continue, right? And so you just kind of organically join that conversation by positively reinforcing the behavior and the trends of people who are already advocates and who are champions for your industry or your business. So I think that if you're on Facebook and you want to take that next step, go into Instagram. If you're already on Instagram, then maybe it's time to go into YouTube. As we continue to see digital growth, video is going to continue to rule the way we consume content. And so then maybe you go into that YouTube. If you're already into YouTube, then maybe it's time to flip the switch and take a look at LinkedIn and look at your visibility there. Obviously, when you go into that platform, it's not going to be about self-promotion. It's going to be about being a thought leader, being an innovator, really talking about how your industry is being transformed and how it's helping to provide a better quality of life, or how it's you just have to look at it from a different perspective and really connect with those users. So again, it really goes back to, now is the time to plug in. If you are doing things right and you are growing and you're on the bubble, guys, we are in the greatest opportunity. So I want to encourage you guys today. Hey, listen, we're on a short week, many of you, and many people had a holiday yesterday. So we got 4 days to which we got to pack 5 days of work in. So man, guys, plug in your amp and let's rock and roll this thing. And it's time to plug in. So again, to recap, here's what we're going to do to prepare for success. Number 1, we are going to document the process of how we got here. Number 2, we're going to train others so that they know how to exactly follow the formula to get to where we are now. And number 3, we're going to boost our visibility, right? We're going to amp it up from channel to channel to channel. And so that's what I'm sharing with you guys today. Thank you so much for giving me just a few minutes of your time today. My name is Michael Wynn. I'm the Chief Digital Officer at Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you tomorrow.